In my gym anyway, and or at least close to it. Because it's hard to get like you're looking for a 126 pounder, but then you've got a guy that weighs maybe 145 pounds, and so you got to get a little bigger guys at that point, and as the weight comes down. The way the sparring partners changes a little bit, more speed. And so
That's what Marvin mentioned to me, that he's able to handle his own against guys that are a lot bigger than him.
Yes, I mean, he's a big guy himself. I mean, for a 126 pounder, when he first walked in my gym, I says, "You guys sure?" This guy's big. He's a big, strong guy, and but he has to wait. We're like 1 pound over right now, and I would really like to move him to maybe 130 after this fight. Even though maybe there's more attractive fights at 26 right now, I'm not sure which way we'll go, but I would like to see him fight at 30. I think he'd be a lot better off at 30 than 26. I think 26 is maybe a little bit of a chore to get to.
Yeah, those Argentina guys are all very physical, and we've seen guys who are kind of brawlers, and you have to refine them a little bit. How was he as far as that went?
He was wild as could be, and we're trying every day to shorten all the combinations up, shorter punches, better combinations, and he's come a long way. And part of that learning process, I mean, he really likes to be told why he needs to improve and so forth, and not just do this and don't tell him why.
Yeah.
He likes to know why, and so he is. He has shortened his combinations up a lot. His punches, he's not so big, not so wide, and obviously we're in with a very good opponent. And he came to me when I came back from Russia and said, "But what if Morris does this?" And I said, "Well, if he does this, we have to make the adjustment, and then if he does that, we'll make that adjustment." And because everyone's really trying to change their styles and not be just the same guy that we see in film all the time. So everyone's trying to make changes, and that's part of what we have to work on in the game plan. I mean, we just don't work on one plan. If he does this, we'll do that. If he does that, we'll do this. So.
How do you see it playing out? Because I want to say a lot of the riders feel that Pacquiao is just going to be too strong. There's a big chance that he might catch Abner.
I told him, he knows that I want a fast start. And I said, I want you to show me your power right away. And I want you to be the boss, and I want you to be the aggressor. I want you to keep his back on the ropes, and don't let him come forward. And keep pressure on him and cut the ring off and control the ring the entire time. And again, he's ready for that. If he comes, he's going to show him his power. And I'm thinking maybe once he feels his power that he will move a little bit more, and if he does move up a little bit more, then we're going to start cutting the ring off and set traps for him, catch him in the corners or on the rope. So he's well prepared for that, and again, we have a couple of different game plans, but a lot depends on what he does.
Freddie, how your record looks versus Robert Garcia? You have faced him corner to corner several times, several fights with Pacquiao.
Yeah, I think I faced him a couple times, but I really don't pay attention to that so much. I mean, it's funny because someone asked me the other night at a press conference in Russia, what's my record with me and Abel Sanchez? And I said, well, who gives a shit? I said, when the bell rings, we both sit down. I said, we don't fucking throw a punch. I said, but I think it was the first time I faced Abel.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I can't remember if I ever faced him before. He's a friend of mine. And I said, he might be winning 1-0, but I think I got fucked.
Well, he would have had, he had Terry Norris, and then he had Antion, and he had Golovkin, obviously, and you never trained anybody to fight against any of those guys. Right?
No. When he had his first champion, I wasn't even around. I might have been still fighting back then.
Yeah, right.
I think he might have, yeah.
Abner was, everybody knew how great he was, and then, the Santa Cruz fight was a terrific fight. He's had a lot of wars. I mean, do you see things building up, the build-up of all those wars in him when you see him fight now?
Yeah, it's for some reason, like this fight has been postponed like 4 times, and we've been in training camp, and then we got to change the date, and I said, do I send him home and let him go rest for a couple of days and get him out of camp? And his wife says no. So she goes, don't send him home. But at one point, we did have to send him home to get a stamp on his passport. And so he did spend a couple of times during one of the breaks there. But the other times, we just kind of slowed things down a little bit and just maintaining and just teaching him, again, more about how to control the ring. You know, and so again, everything worked out well. We're ready for the fight now, and again, I just left the gym, and he's 1 pound over, so that's a relief. And because I worry about him making weight, because he's such a big guy coming into the gym. I mean, you know, he's like
That's what I saw
almost
at
a
the press
middleweight.
conference. He looked very, very big.
Very big, almost a middleweight. You know?
But do you think Abner is the same guy that, like, before Johnny Gonzalez, before Santa Cruz?
I think he's maybe not quite the same. I mean, I watched a lot of tapes on him and so forth, and I liked him a little better when he was younger and so forth. But you know, we all have age, and we age with tough fights and so forth. And he's been in a lot of tough fights also. So you know, and he's going in with a really big puncher. My guy is a big puncher. He's very strong. I mean, doing mitts with him is no fun because if he misses once, you're out.
Has he gotten you lately?
Took me a couple of times, but yeah.
Yeah.
But not my favorite thing. Except put Marvin in there. Marvin's a little bit too small, though.
So if he goes to 130, of course, there's a lot of good fights there too, right?
There's a lot of good fights in both divisions. Obviously, they're both kind of stacked, and you know, like you know better than I who's the best guy out there next. I mean, because it could be at 26 or 30. I mean, the thing is, I mean, I know he'll struggle to make 26, and he won't struggle as much to make 30. I'd rather 30. But the thing is, if the better fight goes to the lower weight division, we'll go there also. It's not impossible to go to 26 again, but it is work.
What does he weigh when he's walking around?
50.
Really? So do you think he'll put on a lot between weigh-in and fight night?
Yeah.
Jeez. So tough. That's dangerous, right?
I told him, I said, you know, I don't want you to be like overeat and be sluggish and so forth, because food does slow you down and so forth. So, I mean, I like you know, most guys gain like 10 pounds and that'd be okay. But I don't think that's going to happen in this case. He's just not used to it. The weight comes back on him very quickly, he tells me, and he'll go in the ring above 40.
If he wins, I know you said that it depends on what fights presents itself, but would you advise him, like, hey, I think you should go to 130 and stay in 130 after this fight?
I've already talked to him about it. I have mentioned to him, I said, yo, you're a good fighter, you're a champion at this weight. I said, I think you're good enough to win multiple titles. I think 30 and 35 are definitely in your future, win both those titles, and I think he's very capable of doing that. He's a big puncher, and I think he'll be stronger at the higher weight divisions, and he'll carry that punch up with him.
What's his go-to? I mean, you're talking about being a big hitter. I mean, the A1 weapon. I know he's got several, but what's the one?
You know, he's a southpaw, and I really like his right hook. Is my favorite punch because it's a lot closer to the opponent, it's a lot shorter, it's a lot easier to get there, and usually the opponent doesn't see it coming from the hook side. And that's my favorite punch for him, but his most powerful punch is his left hand, straight left hand.
Did you see Lomachenko, the last fight, and where do you put him among all fighters?
You know, I was a little disappointed. I expected more out of Waters, I think. I thought it was going to be a much more competitive fight, and he just outboxed him pretty easily. He's a good fighter. he's a great boxer. He has very good footwork. He's a difficult fight for anybody in the world. You know, and they were talking about Manny Pacquiao fighting somewhere down the line.
I know.
And he wants to fight at 30. He said Pacquiao would have to come to 30, and I need a year to get ready for the fight. I said, a year? I said, that's a good way to say no, but, but I don't think that's possible because I think the weights is just too far apart.
Well, he's talked about Vargas and Salido. He fought Salido the first time. He wants to do that again at some point.
Yeah, I mean, he does need that. He does need to get that off his back. He really does. I think when you lose, you have to.
Freddie, recently, the seal Lomachenko's mentioned willingness to fight Manny Pacquiao. What is the better chance of happening? Pacquiao versus Lomachenko or Pacquiao versus Crawford?
Crawford has a better chance. Lomachenko said that he wants to fight at 130 and he wants 1 year to get ready for the fight. I said, you want a whole year to get ready for a fight? I think that's a very nice way to say you don't want to fight. I mean, that's impossible. That's impossible.
So there's a decent chance for Pacquiao Crawford next year?
We may end up with that fight, and it's a very, very difficult fight, I know. Crawford's a very good fighter. He can move. He's a good boxer. He's maybe like a young Mayweather, I feel, but he's a little better puncher than Mayweather. He's a dangerous guy, but that could be our next fight because, I mean, if we don't get a rematch with Mayweather and so forth, that's the road we might have to take because we still want to be on top of the game, and we can't just fight stiffs, and we have to fight the best guys out there.
Is there an opponent that you're spotlighting besides Mayweather? Is there somebody you're looking for a Pacquiao fight next?
Well, I like Alvarez a little bit better, but the thing is, like, can I put a cap on how much he gains after the weigh-in? That's the key. I mean, like, IBF will 10 pounds.
Hydration costs. Yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, because I'm really not worried about what he weighs going into the weigh-in. I'm worried about how much he puts on, how much bigger he is than Manny, you know?
But you mean at junior middleweight to fight him?
Well, you know, by fight time, this guy's a light heavyweight, for
Right.
Christ's sakes.
But I mean, are you saying a 154 fight or 147 or a catch
I'd
weight?
rather 47, of course. But the thing is, you know, we're going to have to maybe have a catch weight or deal with it that way. But, I think that's the issue that maybe keeping that fight from not happening right away. And but I'm sure that Golden Boy and Top Rank would both love to have that fight. I think it's a very competitive fight.
What about the winner of Garcia Thurman? Would you want to be open to that? It's a big fight and probably be a big fight for Manny too.
Yeah, Garcia's always been on my mind.
You guys want more
I
Freddie?
always
Just
liked that fight for Manny.
Freddie.
Thurman, I haven't really seen enough of him, but I mean, you know, again, when Manny comes back, we don't, you know, again, we don't get Mayweather. We just can't go out there and fight some bum.
So you want the money? The money with the
We
opponent?
want to fight real fights, and we want to stay on top. I mean, if Manny's not capable of being on top right now, I tell him to retire.
So Jeff Horn was a joke. Jeff Horn, whoever that. Joe Horn. Joe Horn.
I don't know him.
Please, I'm glad you said that.
Okay, we're gonna take a picture and then we're gonna Ronnie and Fred Man.
Thanks,
Good?
Freddie.
Got it. Thank you.